and they stamped the piece of paper. I think it was $50 or something, maybe even for the round trip. I don't
So
remember.
it doesn't go on your passport per se, but it acts like a visa kind of.
Yes, it's a visa, but it's not put into your passport. And then you spend a day or two there, and then when you come out, you hand them the slip of paper and they stamp it. Well, I didn't have no time left then. I didn't know. I probably would have done that. I might have went to Cuba just for the hell of it and seen it. And
well, let me ask a question. So you spent how many days in Belize?
The 13 days.
Okay, 13 days in Belize. What did that cost you? Not including airfare.
No, I spent, wait a minute, hold on. 14 days I spent.
14 days. And what did that cost you? Not including airfare.
Just in Belize?
Yes.
I think a couple hundred, let me see. Well, no, it would cost me more than that because the hotel's I was paying $30 a night on Key Calker. Mm-hmm. And I was paying $27 on Belize City.
And Belco.
So it was around $1,000, I guess, something like that. I don't know by the time I ate and everything, mm-hmm. the taxis and stuff. So probably around $1,000.
And then what was your and then what was your plane ticket about?
That was I think that was. Jesus, I don't remember anymore. I know it wasn't $1,000, but I don't remember what the hell it was.
The reason I'm asking that question is because a lot of people say, look, I would love to go to an exotic place like this, but it's just so expensive. And what I'm getting at is it doesn't have to be. Sure, if you want to stay in the 5-star hotel and be taxied around by everybody and take the air-conditioned bus every place, it's going to be expensive. But if you do things your way, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah, it don't have to be. But it depends on what you want. And if you got the money and you want to do it, fine. And I could have done it the expensive way if I wanted to, but I don't like that way.
Well, and the reason I'm even bringing this up, Jerome, is because you and I are very similar in that we both believe that okay, where we live is wonderful. You love Little Rock, Arkansas. I love East Central Missouri. It's where we live. But there are so many other places out there that you can see them on television. You can read about them in a book, but until you go and experience it, you'll never truly know.
Well, that was what I started to tell you. Then I kind of forgot about it. When I was talking to all these people that were traveling, because they were saying how dangerous it was and stuff, they were traveling all over.
Yeah.
And single people, single women, 2 women. Groups, on Key Calker, oh my God, Brazil women, they just lay down and take their tops off. Boom, they weren't hung up about that stuff at all. Where most of the other people did not. But some of them did down there in that split in the island. They would, because that was mainly tourists that would go down there. Some of them would go topless too, but then Brazilian girls, they didn't care at all. And so anyway, the next, like I said, talking to that Cuban guy and everything. Well, the next morning I get up and he's there by himself. His wife was still sleeping, and started talking to him again. And he goes, he could not believe how generous the American people were. He said his son lived in New York City and had been there for years. Mm-hmm. So but his youngest daughter wanted to go to Miami. And he says, she got to Miami. They gave her $3,000 cash. She got free school. They got her an apartment. And he says, I can't, let me see here. I wrote it down here. I can't believe how generous the United States people are to other people.
Well, who gave her this money?
I don't know. I didn't ask him that.
Okay.
I should have, but I get.
Okay.
But he acted like it was the government, the United States government, is what the way it sounded to me.
Wow.
But I didn't specifically ask him that. But anyway, that was interesting. We sat and talked for quite a while, and just talked about Cuba and whatever. And so later on that morning, then around noon, I had my stuff all packed and said goodbye to all the people at the motel. There was another British guy going back out to the airport, so we split the cab and went out there, back to the airport. And when I got to the airport, now this was on my way to Costa Rica, where I was going to meet up with my brothers and my cousins, and get to the airport and go up to the counter to get my ticket. And the guy goes, "You owe $50 you had to pay to leave the airport, not to come in, but you had to pay a fee to get to leave."
That's the way a lot of places are.
And I says, "No," I says, "they told me that when I bought my ticket that everything was paid for." So the woman, he was about as big as round as he was tall, the guy that I was dealing with. And well, the woman sitting off to the side of him there, she heard me and complaining, and she gets up and she says, "Let me see that ticket." So she gets the ticket. She says, "No, this is first class, and it's paid for." I says, "First class? I never went first class in my life anywhere." They said, "Yeah, it's a first class ticket on Taka Airways, which is it's from Honduras."
Okay.
No.
Costa Rica.
No, it's from El Salvador.
Ah, okay.
That's where their headquarters are.
Got it.
And so anyway, it took a while arguing and doing all this stuff, and finally they printed me out my ticket. I didn't have to pay the $50. And I says, "Are you sure it's first class?" to the guy, because the woman had kind of quit. She just went away because she had settled it.
Right.
And he goes, "Yeah, it's first class." I says, "Well, I better go to the restroom here and change clothes," and because I'd been sweating, and I was clean, but just sweating and everything. And he looks up over the top of his glasses and he says, "I think you should." Like an ass. So I went and put on some long pants and a different shirt, and I put on my shoes and socks, and anyway, finally got on the flight was ready to go. Man, I'm telling you, this was the airline like the old TWA and the other airlines were. Let me see I had it wrote down here.
Maybe Eastern, Northwest Orient.
No, they were the ones that I flew on, Pan Am and TWA.
Okay.
I'd flown on them after I got out of the military and stuff, and they were clean, spotless. The stewardesses were all young and beautiful and in their short skirts, and this is how the women were on the Taka Airlines. They were still like that from the 60s. Of course, I guess that's sexist now, but I got into first class, and of course, to you, I probably would have committed a mortal sin because they offered me champagne or wine and everything, and I refused it. I didn't take it.
You're right. I've never turned down free booze in my life.
That's why I say it would have been a mortal sin to you. So anyway, flew into El Salvador, but you couldn't, I couldn't leave the airport because you had to go through customs and stuff again. And then it took another plane, but that Taka Airlines to Costa Rica.
Right.
And that was my Belize trip. And then now we're in Costa Rica.
That's amazing, Jerome. And you did this at age 66. So anyone that thinks, well, that ship has sailed, I'm getting older, I'm not going to do this. Just be a little adventurous, perhaps, and maybe you can do more than you thought you could do.
Yeah.
Now
like I said, I just threw a backpack on.
Now that's when you were 66. You're now 77. Are there any of these trips in your future?
I still want to go to Peru. I want to do the Inca trails.
Okay.
And I don't know if I manage it, but because of my knees and stuff, but that's if I go someplace, I think that's Peru is where I want to go. Peru and maybe Bolivia too while I'm down there.
And I think maybe you can get there via Taka Airlines as well.
So do you want to go on now to Costa Rica? Or do you
actually, we're an hour and 10 minutes into the podcast. I had figured that we wouldn't get both of them in because of the detail that was in Belize. Maybe we ought to stop right now and perhaps pick up Costa Rica on another podcast. How's that?
That's fine.
Outstanding. Jerome Koenigsfeld, adventurer extraordinaire. Jerome, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being on the podcast. I appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it. I'm glad to do it.
Hey, take care. And thank you again for your adventure stories. Bye-bye, sir.
All right. Bye.
That's Jerome Koenigsfeld. What a story. What a storyteller. Amazing. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. I know you enjoyed Jerome's stories. JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. That's the email address. If you want to go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, or the best way to have the podcast come to you is come via your email. Just send me your email. Send it to JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. I send you a link to the podcast upon publication. You can download it and listen to it at your leisure, or pick up the podcast anywhere where you pick up podcasts. That's it. We're done. Until next time, this is James Strong saying, adios.